think we'll get started. So, warm welcome, everyone. Welcome to Zoholics 2013. Yes. So, thank you so much for being here. I know a lot of you have come from afar. I think we have people from 8 countries. I see Denmark, France, UK, where else? Netherlands, Spain, Mexico, Canada, and of course all over the US. Did I miss any countries? Anyone still reeling from a bit of jet lag? There's a few of you, We'll catch up eventually. Sorry for that. But anyway, we have a fantastic day ahead. In the next couple of days, hopefully there's going to be some really good content for you to take back with you for your businesses, to help you be a better and more enlightened Zoho partner. Starting today, we have, so today's all of the partners, there's 4 sessions today. This first session is really about positioning Zoho CRM in the marketplace from a marketing point of view, and we'll touch into a little bit on selling in the marketplace. So there's a little bit of selling with our competitors, a little bit of our competitors in mind. So following this session at 2 o'clock, Sridhar is going to do a little informal talk about our company, Zoho's vision, where we're going, and how partners fit in. 3:15, we're going to have a short break, and then we're going to dive into a discussion on ZAP. So the Zoho Partner Program, I really wanted it to be more of an open discussion, so we'll have an opportunity to share some ideas, what's working, what isn't, and what we can do better. And we'll also have, if we have time, and if everyone wants, we'll have a look at the reseller store, because I know a lot of people have had some questions, issues, frustrations with it, so we could do a demo depending on time and your interest level. So that's from 3:15 to 4, and then from 4 to 5, the last session is a presentation by our CRM product manager. We're going to do a CRM deep dive, so look at our product strategy, look at where we've come from, where we're going, and I guess the vision for the CRM as a whole. I think that will be a really good session. During that session as well, there's going to be a small award ceremony, and there's also a giveaway. So we'll make some space in this room today for you to put your business cards in, or just write your name on a piece of paper. We're going to have a drawing for a beautiful pair of headphones. And so that's at 4 to 5, so you need to be in the room to get the prizes. So following that session, we're going to have an open reception. We're gonna cancel the reception. We're gonna have a reception with cocktails, and then followed by hopefully a really nice dinner. So hope you can all join us. So have a good time. Use these 3 days to network, to meet the Zoho staff. We have our executive team here. We have many people from India. We're here from various product teams, probably many that you've already interacted with remotely. So take the time to meet people, do some one-on-ones, and really have a good time. And hopefully you also have some time to enjoy the Bay Area. Maybe some of you have been here. This is the first time you're coming. And there's tons of good things going on. So enjoy yourselves. And without further ado, I'll let Rodrigo kick off the session. And we'll go from there. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rodrigo Vaca. I do marketing for Zoho, and I don't believe I have the pleasure to meet every single one of you. I definitely look forward to meeting you during these 3 days. It goes without saying, the partners are Close enough, and for the rest, I'm sorry, I ran out of time.
What about the Spanish?
Did anybody else speak Spanish here? Oh, no. Bienvenidos también. All right, so what we wanted to do in this session was provide a little bit of overview about how to position CRM, Zoho CRM in general. And I'm going to do that part. And then Arun here, who is on the pre-sales team, is going to talk about 3 particular instances about what to do, what to say when you run across 3 of our competitors in a sales situation or in a migration situation. Okay? And I wanted to do this session. Well, I want to start the session by asking, when customers ask you, what's unique about Zoho CRM, what do you usually say? Raise your hand if you say price.
I believe that was competing on price pretty regularly.
Okay, that's fine. Anybody else?
There you go. Okay.
I think we should do a unique level of integration. Third party apps, particularly social media. It's very powerful and very different from what you get.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Catherine.
It's not only a CRM, it's a platform.
Okay.
It's very
Perfect. Perfect. Any other ideas?
Easy to use.
Okay. And when you say some of the competitors out there, any particular comes in mind when you say we're easier to use? Okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Well, those are definitely some of the scenarios that I had in mind. And like you said, you know, definitely price is an advantage for us. However, I don't want to discuss price today. Typically, price is not something that I discuss with customers, at least not at the beginning. And the reason is customers are smart enough to go to the pricing page and realize the price by themselves. When you look at our web metrics, at our analytics account, pricing is typically the second or third top page that customers look at. Okay. So customers can see that and realize that by themselves. Salesforce also has it right there from Microsoft has it up front. So I'd rather spend my time with customers, educating them about some of the other advantages that Zoho has, and then they can do the math in their head. Some of these you already mentioned, and this is what I want to cover today. First one is design with the salesperson in mind, and this is just a different way of saying that it's easy to use. But we take that easy to use in a much more specific way for salespeople doing their day-to-day business. Flexibility, email integration, that is part of the Zoho family. It's not just a CRM tool, and also it's a low risk. So what's important to know about a CRM system, and you are in the CRM business as well, so you know this. A CRM tool is only good if you get people to use it. Right? You can have the most advanced CRM tool, but if the salespersons are not actually inputting data, they're not tracking their deal, then the CRM is of no use. It can be the best CRM in the world, but if it's not getting used, it's not going to go anywhere. And I joke with my sales team that if a sales rep is actually updating the data in the CRM, then he's not really a sales rep. Right? We all know sales reps hate to use CRM systems. But why is this? The reason is that most CRM systems, in particular Salesforce, Microsoft, they are designed with the sales manager in mind. This means that you can configure them, you can extract data, You can look at pretty reports and charts all day long. But that's for the manager. The people who are actually using this on a day-to-day basis, they have to go through a clunky UI, a convoluted process to get the data in that they need to use to get the data out that they need when they're meeting with their customer. So one of the things that we done in Zoho is focus in very particular tasks that people need to use throughout their day and make it easy for them so that using the CRM is not a pain. So for example, one of the things we focused on some time ago when we did our latest UI revamp for Zoho CRM was how we do nodes in the CRM system. Before, it took sales reps an extra 2 or 3 clicks to input a node in a contact. So we have all of these structured fields that you can configure, customer details, account details, potential details, etc. But what we found through talking to customers is that a lot of them use the nodes field extensively to track whatever not organized data that you have, whether you had a conversation, whether you discuss some particular needs. So we focus on making that experience easier. We focus on making it very simple for customers to create new nodes in the CRM system. Then we gave that to our sales team, and we didn't say anything. And instantly, overnight, our amount of nodes that our own salespeople were inputting on the CRM system duplicated or triplicated overnight. And we didn't say anything like, hey, here's a new feature. We just made it easier for them to input this data. So this is something that is very critical for us to get across to customers. And by the way, this was just a small example. Like that, we have many other workflows that we optimize for end users. How do you go back to your previous items? How do you go back to the latest deals? How do you go back to items that are in your to-do list, etc., etc. How do you schedule, for example, a meeting? Right? How do you know somebody's available? So we just try to make it very easy and simple for end users to use the CRM system, and that's going to lead to more usage. Yes.
Can I be provocative?
You can be provocative.
Increasingly, salespeople want to use smartphones, tablets to enter information because that's their.
Right.
And to what extent are you, and I'm trying to think about this, to what extent are you working with mobile platforms to make those much more sales friendly? Maybe I'm jumping ahead of something, but that's what
we're going to cover that in detail in the CRM.
I don't want to get specific,
But it's okay to that question is perfectly valid. I think we're doing a lot of work on the mobile side. Huge initiative for all of our applications.
But you promised me to be provocative.
So I thought I was. So if you talk to the interventions in this room, you talk to Salesforce, okay? What they're doing in mobile front is running everything on this chatter model. That's what they want to do. The whole idea being that this stream of information is much more useful, and you can, for instance, walk into client and do a little message, you get from Salesforce or iTech and that's something that's almost in the same stream, push that back to you so you get it or whatever. That's very powerful. That I think is where CRM usability
Actually, good point. No, it's an excellent point. I think you need to get the data. What you're saying is you need to have this real-time information. Get it to the right person at the right time.
And to recognize that salespeople primarily want to use iPads and Android phones.
Stay tuned. We have some good announcements on this.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to derail your.
No, but to summarize, obviously mobile is very important for us, and you've seen us over the past few months doing more updates about our mobile apps and increasing our mobile presence. For the longest time, we only had the iPhone apps. For example, now we're increasing to Android, and trying to cover a whole platform. So that's definitely top of our radar. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So Zoho CRM competes with a wide range of CRM tools and systems. Sort of at the higher end, we have Salesforce and Microsoft and Sugar to an extent. And then at the lower end, we have a plethora of, there's a new CRM system out there that is trying to undercut us on price, and we have a High-Rise, and we have Sales Logics, and we have a bunch of primarily standalone tools like that try to compete solely on the CRM space. When we encounter one of these deals, what we typically do is we play the flexibility game. So when we are competing against Salesforce, and we pitch the value and we pitch the vision. When we're competing with a lower end CRM system, we tend to pitch for flexibility. And the reason is Zoho CRM is a pretty powerful system when you consider all that is included or all that is possible with the customization. Whether that's custom tabs, fields, curator integration, that is also powerful in there. When you consider our API, there's a lot of possibilities that open up for you to integrate your CRM system or to make the CRM system fit to your own particular process that you're running in your company. So when you're competing with a simpler tool, it's important to remember these, and not only the extensibility part of it, but also the customization and the workflows. One of the things to realize is that when a customer is considering one of these simpler tools, they probably haven't seen a workflow. They don't know what it can do for them. They haven't experienced that before, right? So when you show them, yeah, we can do whatever all the other tools can do, but listen, did you know about the workflows? Did you know you can automate most of the tasks that you do, right? Customer registers, you can automatically send out a form, you can automatically assign that lead to somebody, you can trigger a workflow, you can create a task for a salesperson to follow up on that lead. Those are things that are very valuable for our sales team, right? And those are things that other CRM systems do not offer. Yes?
Going deeper into customization fields and so on, or other workshops to say what's coming up, I think it's a bit limited.
Okay.
Also about dynamic updates and so on.
Can you repeat the question just for?
Are you going to tell more about the development of fields and dynamic updates and so on, customization forms?
What do you mean with dynamic updates?
If you customize a field and want to have it updated on your accounts or contacts, so on, the dynamics update for fields.
I'm not entirely sure I'm getting the use case, but we can talk about that offline. On the customization of fields, yeah. Oh, can you?
Could you please question one more time? I'll be sorry.
Oh, I can come back to them.
All right, yeah, my presentation.
I know if there is anything in that area, is there a workshop days about this area?
Oh yeah, there are a few. Yes. There are more customization, advanced customization licenses there.
Just to compare, you said the sales board, I think I find here a lot of limitations.
Yes.
That's the limitations in this area.
Okay. And is that regarding custom fields, amount of custom fields? Okay. We do have some news regarding that in the future. We are aware that at the higher end of customers, we run into some of these situations where customers where our custom fields, our amount of custom fields is not enough for what they want to do. So we are aware of that limitation. We're not going to cover that here, but in some other sessions. Yes?
Just to share about the best practices that we do, I think that the customization tools is awesome on the CRM. And especially at the high end of the clients, we actually meet with the top sellers. And these guys really do not need the complete fields of all the customizations. So basically we create views based on, even if they are the same sales rep, we create a small view for the top sellers where they just have to report opportunity because they don't want to be working for the CRM, they want the CRM to work for them.
Of course.
And then we have for the people who is basically the ones who report everything and that they support the sales, then they actually have the open view of all the other fields and they actually take the task of filling them out. And I believe that the customization of the fields is great, especially if you don't only work with that, but you work with the views and you enable to each profile. So what we do is even if you have a sales profile, we create forms for sales profile based on the type of sales rep and the attribute of the sales rep. So that's what type of information they wanted to actually report, and that you don't want them to be actually working extra time.
Yeah, no, that's certainly a great point. Just showing people what they need to see, right? And that goes back to the ease of use. You know, you can have 150 fields. Not everybody needs to see every single one. Right? Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you.
Right, yeah. Sorry. So, getting back to the competition. So, outside of Salesforce, who are your biggest competitors in the U.S. On the cloud? I mean, I find that when you're competing against on-premise, that you kind of back out if they're not already on the cloud. But I mean, for us, we compete against Sugar on a regular basis, and I would say Zoho's a little less flexible, but they're very, very similar. Are we going to talk maybe a little bit about how to compete against that product specifically?
Are we talking about
Sugar
Sugar?
CRM, yes.
We have a segment on Sugar.
Cool.
And I think what we can do is, let's acknowledge that there's probably a wide range of user experience in this audience. Most of you are all experts. So what we can do is we can also run breakout sessions, even one-on-ones, as far as going deeper into specifics. We want to go into custom forms or custom workflows, that sort of thing. We can dive in. And I think during the general sessions, the next few days, there are sessions on those. I think the perspective of this session is really a marketing perspective. Obviously, we're not going to cover every scenario here. I think Rodrigo's point we're trying to make, and I think it's good to have, it's good to hear that you don't agree with it fully. I think the main point of this slide is that, do you see flexibility in the Zoho CRM system? And if you don't, what are the areas that we need to improve on? But I think the main idea here is that when you're competing with the lower end systems, the newer CRMs on the market, like Capsule, some of the lesser known name ones, I think you'll find that the statement is true. There's a lot less flexibility because it's just simply not the depth. And if you look at Zoho CRM, you can really make it simpler, have a very simple setup, or you can go very complex. And I think that's the main takeaway point. This breadth, depth, simplicity in execution. Was there a question? Yes, yeah.
Well, I'm not an expert. I'm just a small business owner. I'm here to learn about everything. But what I've come across so far is that there seems to be like an overlap between like some of the things that I think that we may need as far as like, do we need to buy invoicing or do we need to buy books? Or is that going to be part of, or is that already like incorporated into the CRM based on what you put into that? And so it's kind of hard for me to figure out what exactly we need. We need to buy, do we need to use Creator on the side with CRM and like integrate those together? Or, I mean, it's just like there's so much to choose from that we don't know what to do really.
There's definitely a lot of products. There's a lot of moving parts. And I think the spirit for this session is really let's sort of start broad. Let's look at the general characteristics that we can name as far as positioning Zoho in the marketplace, how we see Zoho in the marketplace from a Zoho perspective, and then looking at it from some of the competitors' perspective, how do we stand out? What are the things to look out for that Zoho has, they don't have, and vice versa? And then further on into this conference, we're going to go into separate products and a little more detail like that. So yes, there is an invoicing module in CRM. We also have a standalone Zoho invoice product. What are the differences? Those are good questions to look at on a one-on-one basis.
And yeah, I acknowledge that we have created a problem by having way too many products. But that's part of our story and that's part of our strategy. We probably need to do a better job of guiding customers that are starting out into what direction you can go. Regarding the point about sugar, it is well taken. The thing to keep in mind is because of our model and because we straddle the very low-end customers that up to the mid-market, we compete with a wide range of products, right? We compete with Excel and we compete with Salesforce, right? And just last week, we were talking to a customer who wants to migrate all SAP CRM into Zoho, right? So we talk to a really broad spectrum of competitors, and we just need to know what to say depending on the particular case, right? Like I was saying, flexibility is something that is positioned against the lower end CRM, right? If you run into high-rise HQ for whatever reason, and most likely you as partners are not running into these deals as often as we are, just because of the customer demographics that choose to talk to a partner and the customer demographics that just do it solo, right? But it is an issue out there. I mean, we're still migrating from on-premise CRMs, people that are continuing to do it with a spreadsheet, people that do it with a bunch of other legacy tools by now, right? So you just need to be aware of the entire background.
And I think we don't know everything, right? So one of the things we want to get back from partners is feedback from the field. What do you find? You're losing deals against which competitors and why? Because of the features, you're losing for some other reasons. It's also important that we do have an open channel so you tell us what we're missing.
Come on, don't be shy. You can be fine.
No, I can speak about it. Just another practice that we do is that we always ask, because you'll be surprised that you get a call and they always call through CRM. But then you realize that they're actually using a contact management like apps with spreadsheets, with another 5 or 6 cloud-based services, all dispersed and not consolidated in a single platform. And they're calling us, and we end up just talking about CRM. So I always encourage you to ask questions. What else are you doing? What are the software? What are the tools are you doing? What are the platforms? Because then you realize that the edge that we have is the fact that we have all these services integrated and consolidated in a single platform. And that is unique in the market. There is nobody in the market that is doing that. And that's my take on how to do that.
We have people here that are selling other systems, right? So you can probably voice your opinion as well as far as what we've seen. I know we have Susan here from one of the premier hack resellers, is now a Zoho reseller. And I'm curious to see here.
I would say sole access to Swift page side.
Right.
Products be around there.
But I mean,
Sugar, I would say we compete with Sugar regularly because it's similar in price, it's on the cloud, it's open source, so it's as flexible. But I was wondering, if that's something you guys use.
we're actually going to talk about that further on down in the slide deck.
Sure.
Sugar, we always say that Sugar to CRM is Linux to OS. I mean, it's great operation, it's collaboration, but it's not enterprise grade where you actually need a service. It's just for people to try to collaborate and make some issues. But on the Sugar web, it's collaboration and it's open and it's not secure. When you go with an enterprise, for example, Zoho, you need something like platform that actually does provide the security, hardware safe, and that the code is not just taken by anyone and people do whatever and happen in the future. And that's the problem with Sugar. Sugar is quite open on collaboration, and you're actually putting the enterprise on risk.
So I reckon that we try to stay on track, and then maybe just because of a lot of input, maybe we have an open discussion after the slide deck. So just so we have a chance to get through the material, there's not that many slides, and then we can open it up. Feel free to ask questions on your slides.
Next one is email integration. How many of you are using the email add-on with your CRM? And how many of you are not? And why not? Because you're new to it. All right. Well, since you're already using it and you already know the power that it has, one of the things to realize about it is of all the CRM vendors, there's only two that sell CRM and email, and that's Microsoft and us, right? That's it. In fact, when you look at email in general, there are just not that many vendors left out there. The email integration is one of my favorite parts about the CRM system. Not so much from the personal use of it, that you can see your customer communication in a single place, which is nice. But from a sales management perspective, and from a sharing perspective, working on a particular deal, a particular account as a team, this is critical, right? You can always go back and find your email. But when you're working on a team, how do you let your sales team know what were the latest conversations that we had with this particular customer, right? Sharing your emails is certainly one of the easiest ways to keep everybody in the same page. And from a sales management perspective, the email integration is just a very easy way to make sure that your sales team is providing the right services, responding to customer requests on time, and that they are giving customers and prospects the service that they deserve. So this is also something that usually keeps the balance in our favor. And all CRM systems have one way or another to add some sort of email integration, right? But ours is certainly smoother, it's easier to use. There's no need to CC anybody, and because we integrate with Zoho Mail, we make that experience so much better. And like Catherine was saying, one of the key things to keep in mind is that we sell not only the Zoho CRM tool, but Zoho is a family of products that customers can use. And we have increasingly seen these from a marketing and sales perspective. Maybe up to 2 years ago, customers came to us and they were interested just on the CRM system. In the last year or so, the number of requests from people that want a demo of, I want a CRM system, and I want a ticketing system, and I want to check out the project integration, and I want to make sure how does that integrate with Creator, that's just skyrocketing. People are finally catching on. They can do a lot of things in the Zoho platform, and that once they're here, is for the most part already integrated with whatever you need to do, with support, with CRM, with campaigns. That is a very, very easy thing to do. Just hook up your CRM data to Zoho campaigns, and then you can start emailing customers and doing remarketing and etc. very easily. This is something that applies mostly to medium-sized customers when it comes to Zoho support and Zoho CRM. The smaller customers might be interested in, for example, Zoho CRM and projects. The project integration, I was just chatting with our Japanese partner earlier today. The project integration is something that demos really nicely and just shows the power that you have when you have all the products within the same roof and the kinds of things that you can do, right? Anybody has an API, but you're not gonna get the same experience using the API that having it integrated in the UI by the same vendor.
So I think this is a really important topic, and it's something I really would like us to talk about in this app update session, and even the next one, which should just really the solution selling and the opportunity and for partners to not just sell an application, but to bundle together services and the solution approach, basically making more money and providing more value. That's the underlying capability that, just by having a family of products, as we really said, allows you to do.
Yes?
Sorry, could I just say that one of the things that really helped this program is if you're a partner for Zoho CRM, you're also a partner for the associated products without having to do anything else. Well, I had to pay like $40 a month for projects to try it out, and I thought that was good.
You didn't get my email.
It's free. Good. Should be. So one of the associated Zoho CRM products is now available to a partner to use free.
Well, right now, what we've done from the start is give CRM and projects as reseller versions complimentary, simply because it's been really hard to administrate 20 applications. Some partners want, some partners don't. We're doing updates in the Zoho store that will allow us to have one user account for all the products. When that happens, people will open up the partner system, have your complimentary suite of products. Certainly, what we can do now on a one-on-one basis is, if you're interested in putting together these apps, we can definitely get that happen.
And last thing I will mention regarding this integration from the same vendor, some of our partners have commented that takes away business from you integrating the application. And that's not true. What happens when we integrate those applications for you is that frees up budget for you to do more interesting things with the customer. Rather than doing the run-of-the-mill CRM to helpless ticketing integration, then you can focus on creating higher value customizations and integration for that particular customer. And last one, from an overview perspective, is the low risk that Zoho CRM represents. And I mean low risk not only from a pricing perspective, we already touched on that, but low risk, one of the unique things that we offer is we have this month-by-month contract. So that really takes away a lot of the risk from customers, right? You can say, listen, you can sign on. If you don't like it, at the most, you're out of 1 month of licenses. And if you really don't like it, we can give you your money back. Right? We have this guarantee, and I'm focusing on the details, so forgive me about that, but I think it's really the first 15 days of your first month. You buy, you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. Same thing with your annual contract. Within 45 days, you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. If we do an update and you didn't like the update, we'll give you your money back. So we take away this risk that customers feel, right? Because, it's no secret, but Salesforce has a bigger branding than we have. So customers might feel safer going with them, right? But it's not true. They do great with Zoho, and we minimize the risk that they're taking by taking steps like this. Yes?
Small point. Is the fact that you charge for a one-time data dump, extract all the information, even though the costs are nominal, there's a psychological barrier people feel that criminal sectors have to pay to get the regulation and that then becomes more of a barrier to adoption.
Right.
And you can't be making any money from it because
No.
so would it make sense to just take that away? I mean, just give people once per year, once, obviously don't want you doing this every day of the week, but sort of in such a way that it can't be thrown back at the reseller as a barrier to why they want to go to this.
Well,
Because I know that some of these vendors come in charge.
we will give you one data log as a customer. So we do that to get that sort of initial fear or that objection that whatever you're charging me to give him an idea. We also do it because we don't want to be doing this on a daily basis for the customer because it's expensive.
Something, well,
Yeah.
let's look at that, right? Because I think really the $10 is an administration fee that covers the cost of us doing it. Customers can get their data out anytime, right? They can do an export and CSV file, they have backup. So really, getting the data from Zoho is really like, I don't even know if we're getting that many requests. If you see it as you as our partner seeing this as a barrier to sale, and you feel awkward about that, just take it off. Just say, we'll reimburse you as partner. If that's a barrier to the sale, the customer's really uncomfortable with that, really take it off.
And I think it's psychological, obviously.
Yeah. Good point.
I think the point of this slide is, I think there's obviously risk when you go to a customer, you as a partner, and say, I want you to pay me $5,000 or $3,000 for my services. There's a risk of paying money to the project, getting involved in that kind of commitment together, because you obviously they'll have a lot of trust in you and the relationship you have with them. I think from my point of view, this slide really just says Zoho from the product perspective, application perspective, absolutely stand behind the product and saying, try it for a month. If you want to run a pilot for 2 months, fine. Let's not spend a lot of money on consulting. We're giving you the partner the opportunity to do a pilot, and there's really a low risk from an initial investment until the customer's comfortable. Overall, what we're saying to the market, what we're saying to the smallest customer, single user, right up is we stand behind the application. If you're not happy, we'll give you your money back. And by the way, you have the option of paying for month. That's the main thing. I recognize that customers coming to you and saying, hey, we gotta spend a month with you, you're gonna set us up. There is a risk there. Yeah, there's a risk in this. But I think you can at least alleviate the point selling any Salesforce in particular. So can give you the flexibility. You do the first year you want to do it.
And with that, and because we're running out of time, I'll turn to Arun to discuss some of the particular sales scenarios.
So how are we doing so far? Is this information useful in getting some mileage from it? Yes?
Thank you, Rodrigo. So, my name is Arun. I'm a pre-sales consultant for Zoho CRM. I've worked with some of you in the past, and it's a great pleasure meeting you all here for this user conference. So, most of the points that I'm going to discuss here, it's been covered by Rodrigo. So, the advantages or the features that we have in Zoho CRM, which helps us to position the product over our competitors or competition, have been discussed here. Now, what I'm going to do is, for example, like we might be having, when you get a prospect, someone coming to you for buying a CRM, that might be a startup company, like they may not have any CRM systems, they might be using the software there, or they might be using sometimes CRM systems and they want to switch it to Zoho CRM. So there are different factors that you could identify in there. For example, why are they trying to switch the product, or what are their requirements. So if we could identify those products or those features, it will make it easy for us to like understand their exact requirements and sell the product to them or those CR to them. So here, what I'm going to do right now is the main competition for Zoho CRM in the market, Salesforce or Act or Sugar. So I'm just going to discuss a few of the factors which you would like use against those products in here. So let's start with Salesforce. So as Rodrigo said, Zoho CRM is designed with salesperson or salespeople in the mind. It's really easy to use. So as a business consultant, from my experience, I can say that there are very a lot of people come from Salesforce into Zoho CRM. They might feel that it is much similar, like the layouts, UI, they look similar. But once they start using that, I have, like a lot of people have said that it's really easy. And unlike Salesforce, anyone can do like, you can learn it really quickly. So even for the administrators, they might have to set up the account. It's really easy for them to do that. And for salespeople who are going to use it, the learning curve is really easy. They can learn the system. They can focus more on talking to the clients and be more productive there. And also, we have an email integration. So as when Rodrigo said, who all are using Zoho Mail add-on, most of the people here are using that. So you know the power and advantages in using Zoho Mail add-on. It brings your email inside your Zoho CRM system. So it makes it easy for you to track email conversations between you and your customers. And so it says like no need to CC. So that means you don't have to put a unique email address in CC or BCC field from your email client to have it added into your CRM system. You can do that directly from your Zoho CRM account and using the mail add-on. And all the client-specific emails will be added under that tracker details page. Salesforce, they don't have such a powerful integration with email. You can even share the emails. So all the client-specific emails could be shared across the organization, or you can share emails associated with specific clients in Zoho CRM. And also, you might be knowing this in Salesforce, they don't have an inventory management section in all the editions. They have it in the Enterprise Edition and the Developer Pack, which is really expensive. But Zoho provides a section to manage your inventory and accounting, even the Professional Edition. So we can also use this, we can help customers explain the benefits that you have in there to have all the features required for managing different aspects of your business. Like you can do that for managing sales, you can do that for managing customer support, or the inventory and accounting can be easily managed using Zoho CRM. And also the workflows with Salesforce has limitations when it comes to the Professional Edition. You would have to go to the Enterprise Edition of Salesforce for getting all the features in workflows or others. Zoho CRM will provide you all those powerful features even in the Professional Edition. And also, here, another important factor that Rodrigo has mentioned is Loris. We don't have any contract involved. It's a pay-as-you-go subscription plan. So if you have a Salesforce on the other hand, you will have to go for an annual contract, so you have to be with them for the next year. So here, it's not like that. You can go month by month, or maybe you can do that on an annual basis, depending on your convenience. So that's what.
Yeah, by the way, if you do, the opposite is also true. If you have clients, particularly larger clients, you can sign them up for a year contract, a multi-year contract, and on a case-by-case basis, we'll also work with you on providing an SLA for the larger accounts. Right now, we utilize Zoho products. We have our terms of service and usage. Sometimes we run into large enterprises and they require an SLA. We can offer that to your customers as well. You know, sometimes 50, 200,
Yeah, but and also like James actually was mentioning about irregular activities with sugar, right? So do you find any, basically, like, it's true that sugar is open source, but again, when it comes to small to medium-sized deals, I don't think that it will be like easy for them to like do all the customization there. But Zoho CRM is much more easy to customize. So even though it's open source, they need to have a specific division of helping them to make all the changes there. So I would say that is that.
Creator is easier to use.
Exactly, and I would say like when it comes to like much larger company with an IT team dedicated for doing all these, sure might be helpful there, but other than that, it's not a big advantage for them. And
Just curious, less time required to needs to stop, or needs to stop. Do you actually measure it or just? Just like that, less time required, what needs to stop.
oh yeah, so
Do you actually measure it?
actually, so it's
It's just, I'm serious, because actually, I had a situation when my competition was Microsoft Office Excel file. Okay? So really, customers use this, and when I brought up the CRM, oh, you know, it's so sophisticated, blah, 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 and so long, it's like, okay, let's measure it, how long it takes to input the sale in your Excel file and in Zoho CRM, and actual quantity, and then, okay, question one. Here, that's why I'm sorry to be out there too picky, but when you say something special, you should be responsible for what you're saying. And if anything is not true what you're saying, then he starts questioning everything else.
and again, like one thing I can assure you about is if we spend a few hours a day and maybe like I would say like a week learning the system. However, that any complex customization will not require more than a few hours. So it's really easy. You don't need to like spend days or weeks or months to customize your account for meeting your requirements. You have to wait for that.
I would say Zoho is the simplest in the marketplace in terms of customizing the CRM. Most of it's pre-configured. You know, anything custom would be, you know, specific to the business. Really, I mean, it's super, super simple.
Thank you.
Anything specific about Salesforce before we move to the next slide?
We just have one problem with Salesforce, is that very often on the mid-size market, people are comparing Zoho with Salesforce because they know that Salesforce will downgrade the price. In France, when you have Zoho against Salesforce, you spend a lot of time answering, showing the product, and then the only thing they want is the proposal with no cost. And then Salesforce is downgrading the price to $50. So this is the real problem. Because a lot of people are using Zoho to have low prices.
Yeah, so that's a good point, Pat. And I think there, in that case, it's really important not to waste your time with clients that just want to quote, right? If you want to qualify them as a valid prospect, what are they looking for that will decide between Zoho and Salesforce? It's just price and, give them the price.
Because this is not the real price for Salesforce. They don't sell it.
The other thing to keep in mind that we hear from customers as well is if Salesforce is lowering the price, tell the customer to put that in writing for the 3 years, not only for the first year.
Of course, but they have saved the money for this period.
Perhaps you would do a total cost of ownership because the Salesforce is more complicated and requires more service.
Yeah, that's a really good point too.
It's also a trust issue. If you can lower your price less than half what you start or what the list price is, I mean, my customers typically don't like that kind of stuff. I mean, it just seems shady to begin with. If you start out at 125 and come down to 50,
They're just lower price.
yeah, that's a problem that goes all the way to the top. It's not about, features and functions.
I think the good news is that Salesforce is feeling the pressure from Zoho, and as Catherine pointed out, when you run into situations where the customer has already decided on Salesforce and they want to put pressure on the Salesforce salesperson. So how do you beat that?
Maybe that's why they're
With professional services, things outside of the actual features and functions of the product, like that I'm a value added resale small medium businesses, and they don't have people that have worked in large sales organizations. They don't understand how the workflows. It's about the sales process education, not just about the piece of software. That's how you can compete, regardless of prices, on the soft side of the professional service.
Yeah, if you're competing against the other bars, really, you can talk about the number of implementations that your company has done, which in turn is minimizing their risk, right? The more you see a product, the better you're going to be at it, and your competitors perhaps, unless they're cloud service or something, you should be able to compete on the service level as well.
But it almost starts, for me, it starts that way, regardless of what the actual product is. You start competing on the professional services level, and so it's just a part of that. You understand what I'm saying? That's part of the whole solution. Absolutely. So it's.
I think my hunch is that there's a wide range of customer from not sophisticated to very sophisticated, less experienced, more experienced, and you might find some of these points here help them make a decision. And you may also find that they really know what they want. And it's a combination of things, right? It's a combination of them trusting your experience, your proposal to them, how you proposed it, how much your services cost relative to the license fees. I think the license fees is just one aspect of it. If Salesforce is going to try and lower their cost by 50%, what are the other attributes of the proposal that you can work with, right? Sometimes they're not a real prospect. For us, they've already decided, right? So sophistication comes into it as well.
Just a quick question, Aaron, the pre-sales consultant, how does he help us? What kind of services do you have?
So, I'm actually present at the office. You can contact me on your business team. So, you have this requirement from the customers, and you would like to send somebody else to find out how to use Zoho CRM to best meet those requirements. So, we can always get in touch with. We'll be with you from the initial stage till we are ready to go live. So, you can always send emails to us or write calls, and we'll be there.
So just to check in here, so we are running late. We started a little bit late. We have 2 more slides, and then Sridhar is going to be giving the fireside chat. So that's happening right after this session. Do we want to continue for another 2-3 minutes on ACT and sugar, or do we want to skip those for later session?
And also, I'll be available here, so we can also have a chat after this. You can always come talk to me. If you have any questions on what we have in here.
You want to go through the answer slide? No question. Okay. Let's go through this answer slide.
Okay, so of course, one thing is ACT as an on-premise CRM system, and we also have something in the cloud, but I would say they are a bit late into the web-based CRM segment, so they're not that good there. So first one is really easy when compared to the on-premise edition of ACT. At some points, like Zoho will let you create up to 20 different web forms for the leads or contacts or the cases modules, but for ACT, you will have to pay for that depending on your requirement. And also in the basic ACT edition, you do not have anything to handle inventory. And similar to what we see in Salesforce, they don't have it there, but Zoho, it comes fully packed. You will have everything in there. And also API, the point that's mentioned there, Zoho's API and it being cloud-based will help you to integrate that with other software much more easier than what you do with ACT. So that's another point, extending your CRM beyond just the CRM. And also, I would say that being like an on-premise system, people find it less flexible. Even if they would like to move that to a different CRM system, it's not easy for a hack because getting your data back or everything is really tough. But again, if you're planning to come to Zoho, You can always tell the customers that we have tools to get all the details or all the contacts or leads or any information easily into Zoho CRM. And as James mentioned earlier, Act has been sold to a new company called Page. So it's a new management there, so we cannot be sure that how good is that going to do to the product. That's another stability is a concern there. And I believe sales logics is also going to be acquired by the right Page. So those two are not good for a product, like any new management. We'll have to wait for some time. And of course, you can only have only up to 10 users in the professional edition of Act or Zoho. You can purchase any number of licenses based on your requirement, and the cost is much less than that.
Yeah, one important point is that if you have a customer prospect you need to migrate off of Act into Zoho, that can be challenging. So Arun and the team are willing to help you do that migration. That can be a little bit challenging sometimes. And there are probably a handful of you here that have done Act migrations, and maybe you can network with them. They'll share their secret sauce on doing migrations appropriately. So I think that's a good subject. I think we're doing a session tomorrow or the next day on data migration.
There's no mobile Act, right?
Yeah.
With the preview version.
So finally, Sugar is there. So again, as I said, Sugar says they are open source, but again, it's not that easy to use this feature to get it customized to meet their requirements. I would say nowadays, the words that who has time for that anymore? Because if you are a large company, they have dedicated people for doing that. They might work, but again, for small to medium size deals, I don't think that this is going to work. Zoho has better customization options, even though it's not open source, and you will have much more products which is already integrated with Zoho CRM for getting all requirements met with. So, and also we have Creator, which will be much more powerful, and you can build any application that you need there and get it integrated with Zoho CRM. And we have a new custom related list, you might have all seen that, which will give you a tighter integration with Zoho CRM and Zoho Creator. And
I'm just wondering how many people are running into Sugar in the market selling these Zoho? James is one.
I think it's mainly because we're a stage reseller. And the channel manager at Sugar, I used to be a channel manager at Stage. It's a lot.
Did you want to add anything about selling any Sugar?
I mean, in general, Sugar is a little bit more expensive for what we get. It's a mobile app. I think it's a lot weaker than Zoho's mobile app. And you guys are absolutely right. You need an entire team to really do anything with an open source product. So services again.
Maybe the license fee is just a small part of the overall cost. When you look at setting up Sugar and having it installed and administrated, possibly much higher.
Yeah, total cost of ownership.
So I think thank you, Arun. I think we'll end this session. We are out of time. Thank you very much for all your good questions. And so for the interest of time, I think we just dive right into the next session, and then we'll have a break after this next session. So if you're all okay with that, Sridhar will come up with the podium.